And we are live. Hello, everyone. You could be watching this from anywhere in the world, in the country, and thank you for coming here. And we have some interesting things that we'll talk about later. And I will now switch over to the other screen. All right. Alright, so hello, everybody. I am getting some things set up with the chat, and here we go. I'm going to pop out the window so that can be visible. Okay. For the moment that I will have this screen up. Alright, so this was an interesting week. And also the weather has been nice and cool down south, and we talking about some things biblically later on, and do some gaming and things like that as we usually do, and stuff with the aliens that I learned. So I am now going to start the game part now. It's loading, everybody. So also with the garden, everything's going well with that, and just some things about the book of Enoch and more aliens and things in that realm that are coming over to this realm and stuff like that. Alright, and here we go. It's about to, here we go, the game has launched. Alright, everybody, and let's see it's not really showing the chat for some reason, but alright. Alright. Port Royal. Alright. Fixing something over here. Alright. Yeah, the chat's visible. It's visible. Alright. They have the nice Christmas decorations in the game, which I like a lot. Okay, so as I said, this is Port Royal, and this is the graveyard with some of the zombie things in there. Alright. As I said, you take out a sword and get these things, the above ground graves. Alright. So we have that going down. And these enemies are relatively easy, because it's a much lower level, and the sword has special skills and things like that. And drink some water. This one that's a big one. Alright. And I'm going to go and use the ship. So I'll be reflecting on some of the things that I will talk about. My chair. So basically, some things that I'll talk about is the Book of Enoch, which I talk about on the channel, and I'll talk about it tomorrow as well, and how the biblical accuracy. So it's a biblical explanation, although the book isn't in the Bible. It's an explanation about the aliens and the supernatural things that we have seen through social media. Like there's these sightings, because now with social media people can see these things more frequently than they could before. So the book explains a lot of those things. And also in the Bible with the Great Flood and stuff. Like, there's some there's like things in mythology that have to do with stuff that came from those fallen realms into this one through a biblical perspective. Like a Christian, like religious perspective. And so that is how that is explained, because there's some new things coming out, like people that can, like I was saying in other videos about how people are summoning certain things, which are the UFO beings, and that all has to do with the sorcery stuff, like I was saying. So other YouTubers are talking about it. And like how I said in my opinion, how a lot of the aliens we see, all or most of them that we have something to do with that kind of stuff. The people from the fallen realm. In this cave in the game, I don't know if I recall this part. Yeah, this is the Murky Hollow. This is like where you'll have Davy Jones type characters in it. Okay. We got that one, and I'm not on any specific quest. Those that are watching now or the rerun, I hope that everybody had a good week, and we are going to also be live tomorrow, and I'll also say this again tomorrow. I hope everybody's been having a good week, and anything interesting you want to share in the comments or in the chat, feel free to do so. Okay. More of these. Now this is not the one that I was thinking of. This is not where you have the Davy Jones. These are just the undead skeleton pirates. They're not the other ones, the Davy Jones ones. That, 'cause I remember that is on an island. A loot pouch. We have, so these are undead witch doctors. So, you know, these, because it has to do with Haiti and the witchcraft stuff. So, in the game, they make references to voodoo and things like that. This is a fire. And look, I'm standing in the fire, like the Bible. Now this one isn't even doing anything. It's not dying or anything. So it's either a glitch. It's probably a glitch. Yeah, it's glitching. It's not killing it. And they're not attacking me either. They did a lot of mining and stuff in those caves. Okay, now they're following me. That thing just came out of nowhere, and yeah, they're just... Yeah, something's not right. They're not dying, but it's hurting me, but not them. That's weird. Yeah, this is like going through the hollow. Nice. And spooky. There's the gun. Alright, there we go. I got him. My mouse keeps switching out the different weapons. Yeah, there we go. Now it's working. Some target practice right here. Bam. And this gun is a 3-barrel one. Chatted with some friends today on YouTube. It went well. That's what I was doing. You know, different things in my garden and other stuff I had to do. That's a rabies bat. Because I got the different guns in the game, my mouse, the way it is, it's switching over to different weapons. Alright. That's good. That got him good. Not intentionally doing that to the mouse. Stupid mouse. Alright, I'm gonna go to one of those islands and test out these new weapons. That's nice the way that looks. This is so cool. It's like where they did a lot of mining and stuff. That's what it's based off of, like diamonds and gold and silver and stuff. It's really cool. And this is one of the enemies in the game. Jolly Roger. He's the big bad pirate enemy in the game, and they haven't really, like, they don't really use like Davy Jones and stuff. They talk, although they briefly mention or make references to Davy Jones in that group. But that one, which wasn't in the movies, in the game. And yeah, throwing something at me. It's a brute. All right. Okay. Now to end this one right here. The skeleton is cool. The skull with the fire, that's really cool. Okay. Now I want to go to this other place. I want to go set sail to one of those islands. I have to fix something here. Alright, there we go. Alright. Drink some water again. Now we're going to set sails to some of these different islands. Going to the island. Okay. We're doing this for a little while longer with the game. I'm going to dock in the game, of course. Yeah, this works really well. Getting the scorpion. Looks like both of them are attacking me. Alright, so I'm going to have to go and do that quickly. Get rid of them. He's going back. Yeah, I won't try that one. Maybe it's because I'm going back. He's going back. Oh my goodness! And the mouse. All right. Take some tonic. Oh, that's doing good. They're all teaming up against me. Oh, I got both of them. Level up shooting. Healed myself. Let's see. So this new weapon does pretty good. The mouse was being silly again, and Bubbles is right here coming up. I would show him, but he's kind of shy when I lift him up to the camera. Now let's see how it does against this. Out of range. Okay. Now this one does pretty good. It's a recoil. Just testing out how this goes. Alright. Now when they all attack me at once, it causes a little bit of a difficulty. And here we go, press the T. Now they're dying off. That's good. Get the treasure chest. Awesome. I got the contents that I wanted in there. Now it seems that this one still is there. Oh, it missed. So it looks like these weapons, they're not as efficient because the level's lower. And with the reloading and stuff, it causes an issue because it doesn't load as fast as like a modern one would, a modern gun would. And also I'm discovering things like Bigfoot. The Bigfoot creature is also interdimensional like we thought. It's from that other realm, those I was talking about, the interdimensional theories and stuff. It also comes from there. Queen Anne's Revenge. Going to go and attack the ships. I'm just doing this through my own thing right here. Not even through the regular part of the ship. We sunk it. Alright. Nice, here we go. We're going to get these ships. Awesome. Looks like this ship's still surviving, right? Hello, Mary. Nice to see you. Oh, I don't mind, Mary. That's funny. Let's see. Now I'm talking to the crew in the game. Let's see. So testing out the new weapon, it seems like there's an issue with the higher levels, but it works pretty well. We'll get in the chat in a moment. She says, are there still Christmas decorations in the pirate ship? Yes, there is still decorations in the pirate ship. Hopefully there are no bad pirates trying to overthrow your ship like last week. Yeah, I don't even have the thing public. It'll be alright. And I'm glad the information about the aliens is coming out. And it's confirming things that we know from the religious sources also. And also I have Bubbles the cat on my lap. He's kind of shy. So if I raise him up to the camera, he's going to get scared, and he's on the other area now. He didn't like me talking about that. You see this ship and it goes right on the land like that? That's epic. Hello, Turning Guns. I see you. I'm in a bit of a situation. Man, this ship's got some power-ups on it. Alright. We're gonna end this ship. I'm gonna go this way. Okay. Now we're gonna turn around and we're gonna open fire. Okay. Almost got this done. Almost got this done. I keep missing. Turning Guns, I am doing fine. I had a really good day today. Thank you for asking. And I'll get to the chat in a moment. Alright, now... Oh, we got the... Over there, that's Blackbeard's ship. Well, that's a feast. Alright. So Turning Gun says, like, hello. We got a bounty hunter. Not Amanda, Mary. I think if I said it, I meant Mary. That's what I meant to say. Coffee's hot, that's good. Where I am, it's very cold. It's really cool outside. For dinner, I had beans and rice. And some kind of like meat sandwich things too. I don't know exactly what it's called. It was really good. So we're fighting the Queen Anne's Revenge, which is Blackbeard's ship, and we're fighting a bounty hunter at the same time. This is some epic stuff. Oh, we got another bounty hunter up in here. This is some epic stuff going on. Like, we ran into the Queen Anne's Revenge. That's amazing. That's funny, turning guns. Try to make repairs. This is some... We're gonna get this thing destroyed in a moment. Now we're gonna get this right here. The bounty hunter reminds you of Davy Jones. That's like what he did in the movie. Alright, that just leaves is Blackbeard's ship now. Wow, we got another one coming in. Orbiting the Queen Anne's Revenge. Perhaps. He's trying to make sense of it. And Turning Guns, I hope you're, doing well if I haven't already said that. So you see, it's like a bunch of sharks attacking each other. That's what this is like. That's funny, Turning Guns. That's funny. I missed. Turning Guns says, I seen one of the guys that worked for me put a slab of butter in his coffee to the other. That was new one to me. Oh well. We reached a high level in the game. You got the whole Navy in here. And since when is Blackbeard still part of those other people? It's like he was enemies of the Navy and stuff. Why aren't they attacking him? trying to find a map where the Devil's Anvil is. Let's see. Right here. The other side of Tortuga. Yes, everybody in the game is playing against Blackbeard. Mary says, I knew it had something to do with the protein, fats, no sugar, carbs. Yeah, I didn't know that either. Thanks for telling us, chat, about the situation. Alright, let's see. Probably replace one of the swords. Keep that one. Let's see, this one. Yeah, put that one out. Trash that. Alright, so chat saying turning guns, I have heard of that. And Mary says turning guns, I have heard of that. One of the coconut oil or something like that isn't related to keto. And Mary says I meant coconut oil or something like that. And he says close and has done carnivore diet. She says okay, I knew it had something to do with the protein, fats, no sugar, carbs way of eating. And the person lost weight 1 year and like 280 to 190. That's pretty cool. And she says turning guns, that's great. Those ways of eating are successful, but for long term it could be challenging for someone. In turning guns, we shall see. He's feeling pretty good so far. Mary says Alien, does the game stop and restart, or it's ongoing? The game's ongoing, but sometimes it can glitch. Trash that. Oh, now I know what to do. Let's see. Captain Sword. Let's see if I have some kind of a bayonet thing in here already. Yeah, let me take out this. Alright, cool. Bubbles is by you, but he's nervous. I understand. You know, Bubbles is a cool cat. We're gonna get some lead. We're gonna go for this thing. Ooh, I got it good. Me loves cookies. Me love Cookie Monster fan. Turning gun, that's great for him. And a person levels can go up, and it could be trying the person's heart. There's so many different ways of keeping a proper diet now. Yeah, Mary, I agree. Thanks for sharing that. Alright. Now we're here, and we're doing our thing. Alright, now we're going to set sail again, and soon I'll get into the different things I talk about on the show, and that'll be it. Yeah. Everyone needs a large glass of wine, and the ship needs a large glass of wine. Yeah. That's a famous quote from Johnny Depp from his trial. And also, Alien, do you see the other players on the ship? How many people are on the ship, aboard the ship? Right now, I have one other person. Whew, that's a good start. So, like in the game, what I do is I like to simply destroy the ships. We got him good. Yeah, facts. Team Giant forever, 21 Jump Street. Make sure I get in range. I remember from the Giant Depth Trials, I love watching trials. And the Giant Depth Trial I was watching, it was like, oh, they snuck that whole thing. Wow. From the yeah, so the Giant Depth thing, the that was really interesting. And remember, I was talking to somebody in the chat that was like on 21 Jump Street, and that was like with him in that. And then they like turned on him later on because they thought that Amber Heard was such a nice, innocent person. And I disagreed with him on that one, but I got him to see at first why she's bad. Then he was like, "All right, I was in the wrong," and then he like later like slowly switched. And there was some epic debates in the chat all the time about it, and we weren't really sure what was going to happen. But eventually, as we suspected, he won victoriously. Whoa, I didn't know there's so many ships out here. Good grief. Alright, so here we go. We're going to go and get some of these ships. Whoa. Said this is going to be interesting, chat. I thank all of you for watching, liking the video, that liked it, and those that are here. I appreciate everything. Let's see. Skill not finished charging, and it's not giving me the skill to do that. How about can they take cover? That's good. And we got that. And I appreciate all the engagement, the people that are watching. Even if people, those that watch it, that don't comment, I appreciate y'all too. If I didn't mention them. Man of War, I just want to sink some ships. Let's go that way. I think we could still get them though, who cares? Okay. Okay, we have some fire coming and we're going to miss it. And we're going to take some more cover. Everybody got to be careful. Aha! Barracuda. Aha! You're finished. I'm just gonna go politely run into this ship right here. This is hilarious. Everybody's just thinking right now. Okay. I was kind of gliding. Then I saw that I was gliding into that. Okay. Oh. Yeah, Behemoth. Who do you think you are, Behemoth? Behemoth, rather. That's how you say it. Take cover for comfort. I did hit them. Alright, I know. I knew someone was going to get hit. It was them. Alright. It's so funny seeing all these ships sink. Oh, something's coming through. Be careful here. Or I'm telling him he's doing good. He says he's kind of laggy, and I'm telling him he's doing good. Oh, no, that's not the F button. No, no, no. We're gonna turn around completely and go back there. I drifted. We're gonna go right back here. Yeah, Mary said that Amber is queen of troll people. Bose is also listening. That's good. They got a ship called the Cute Cat. Okay, here we go. Alright, good. We got a stupid hunter. Oh. Mm-mm. They ran right into us. Yeah, he did. This one's going down because it ran into me. And actually, we're going to go back this way and get him that way. Turning around. Ah, missed. You come about. I should have kind of speeded. Alright, good. I got it. Well, that's good you made more coffee. Excellent. I missed. He said, a good cup of coffee always takes about 300 years to do. You got that right. Hmm. They say we take it on water. I told them I know. Oh, they hit the ship. Alright, here we go. We're gonna take it down. They say to join hands with your allies when you're on grounds like this, and that's what we're doing. But you look at that. We got some company. Again. Might have to take cover if necessary. Yeah, my ship is leading. Is leading the way. Oh Lord. Here we go. This is gonna be interesting. Alright, so I'm keeping the ship in check to make sure we have minimum damage. We have allies in this region that are helping us out. Fire. Everything. Hello, SE. Glad to see you, man. Whew. This is awesome. We got a whole bunch of people becoming pirates now. Yeah, SE, hey man. Oh, here we go. Whew. Take cover. How are you doing, SE? You got a lot going on? Alright. Well, I'm glad that you came to tell us hello. Whoa, that was crazy what just happened. Oh, now we're gonna get this one. This is personal. How this naval stuff goes. I really like this. So many allies, because this area in the game has so many ships, and like we took it over when it had a lot of these ships. Uh-oh. Have to go pretty fast for a second. That's funny, chat. All these ships like have no life. Like they're just after me. And now we're going to come about. This is funny. This really is. I got all these ships I'm dealing with. You know, it's just two people. Ah, there we go. Oh, both of them sunk at the same time. Wow. He said, I wish state is the job. Come and people act crazy because of the inspections. Well, oh yeah. Well, thank you for letting us know about that. We sunk all these ships. Wow. That's incredible. All of the whole entire British Navy came up in here and we sunk it. Wow. You see, because we got an army of ourselves. Okay, okay, okay. Wrong button, wrong button. Uh-oh. That's not good. Alright. Okay. I'm trying to find where I am on the map. Alright. I think it's back that way. And my friend is repairing the ship. Alright, I successfully made it. Alright. I see what you're saying, Essie. I'm outrunning these people right now. Okay, let's see, where does this go? Let's put this navigator in here. Let's see, let's put that here. Okay. Alright, I successfully had tons of plunder. Took over the seas. Now I'm going to thoroughly rechat. Alright. So it's not LOL, and the look on the paperwork, owners and bosses go crazy, but it's almost over. Turning Gun says we had to call some of our animals this week. That's pretty sucky, but don't look at it as a bad week, although it's kind of horrifying. SC says maybe he should look into that. And Mary says, I think the holidays affect some people in a negative way and in turn cause chaos for others. True. Mary says, I'm here even if I'm quiet at times. Alien, alright. Turning Gun says, I think about it really, it's horrifying, man. Wow. What a life is here on Earth. Yeah. Yeah, facts. And then SE says, that is true, right, Mary? I think that the bosses are acting a little crazy because it's toward the holidays and probably weren't expecting them to show up. Turning Gun says we grow our own food. That's good. Possibly a little wild. Yeah, chat. I totally agree with everything that y'all are saying about that. The holidays. I think that's probably causing people, to shop more and for that situation to be there the way it is. I agree. Also, that's great turning guns. That's good. You grow your own food. I like doing that too. Right on turning guns. I see. I understand. All right, so now I'm gonna be getting into the other stuff. All right. I'll look it up turning guns in a moment. All right, so now it's the end of the game. For now, let's see. All right. Alright, now the next part of this is I'm going to go and talk about aliens in the Book of Enoch and some news, and that'll be it. Alright. Nice chat. I like the conversation. I'll look up that question for you. Turning guns. Okay. Yeah. So a call is a mnemonic, a amniotic membrane enclosed in a fetus. Now we're going to be switching over to the other window where we have Now we're going to be switching to the window where I have the other display. Yeah, like a membrane around the fetus. Yeah, you can see on the screen I have it, and he's saying, well, I'm gonna copy and paste that, see if that is what. Okay, so I don't know. It says given an infant or an animal specified name. No, it's like calling on a phone. The turning guns. What are you trying to reference? I'm not. I am curious. What are you trying to reference? All right. So, looking at the Book of Enoch. That's some. All right. So here we go. Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch is an ancient Hebrew apocalyptic religious text ascribed by tradition to the patriarch Enoch, who was the father of Methuselah and the great grandfather of Noah. The Book of Enoch contains unique material on the origins of demons and Nephilim, why some angels fell from heaven, an explanation why Genesis flood was morally necessary, and a prophetic exposition of the 1,000-year reign of the Messiah. 3 books are traditionally attributed to Enoch, including distinct works of 2 Enoch and 3 Enoch. None of the 3 books are considered to be canonical scripture by majority of Jewish and Christian church bodies. Maybe that was a lizard. Maybe that was a gray alien. All right. So I'm giving you all like a summary of what the Book of Enoch is and what it has to do with this topic that I'm going to discuss with you all. The older sections of Enoch 1, mainly the Book of Watchers of the texts, are estimated to date from about 300 to 200 BC, and the latest part of the Book of Book of Parables, is probably 100 BC. So it's about 300 to 200 BC, so it's very old, very ancient. Modern scholars believe that Enoch was originally written in Aramaic or Hebrew, the languages first used for Jewish texts. Ephraim Isaac suggests the Book of Enoch, like the Book of Daniel, was composed partly of Aramaic and partially of Hebrew. No Hebrew version is known to have survived. Various Aramaic fragments found in the Dead Sea Scrolls, as well as Koine, a Greek, and Latin fragments are proof that the Book of Enoch was known by Jews and early Near East Christians. This book was quoted by some of the 1st and 2nd century authors in the Testaments of the 12 Patriarchs. Authors of the New Testament were also familiar with some content of the story. A short section, 1 Enoch, is cited in the New Testament the Epistle of Jude, 1 to 14 and the 15, and attributed to Enoch of the seventh from Adam. Although this section of Enoch 1 is a midrash on Deuteronomy 3:33, several copies of the earlier sections of Enoch 1 Enoch were preserved among the Dead Sea Scrolls. Today, the Book of Enoch only survives in its entirely of Ge'ez, Ethiopic translation. So this book is Ethiopian. That's the only version that survived. And it shows you the references from the Old Testament and how early Jews and Christians acknowledged this book at different time periods in the past. And this was not, just because it wasn't canonical doesn't mean that it wasn't supposed to not be read or interpreted. They just weren't really too sure about what it meant, but now we understand what this book means. And Turning Guns, I like ranch life. I like that too. It is a different world. And Turning Guns has lived on the ranch for a year and absolutely loved it. It's located in one of the most beautiful places on earth. Well, that's great. I'm glad that you get to enjoy and see that as well. It is part of the biblical canon used by Ethiopian Jewish community Beta Israel, as well as Christian Ethiopian Orthodox Tewido Church. Other Jewish and Christian groups generally regard it as a canonical or non-inspired, but may accept it as having some historical theological interest. By the 5th century, the Book of Enoch was mostly excluded from Christian biblical canons is now regarded as scripture only by the Ethiopian Orthodox and Eritrean Orthodox Church. Taiwedian, I'm not too sure what that word is, Orthodox Church. So this is a reference from the New Testament. And Enoch also is the seventh from Adam, prophesies of these, saying, Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints to committed, and all their hard speeches which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. So the topic, it has to do with, I'm briefly telling everybody what the book of Enoch is, like a brief summary about it, and then I'm going to explain some things that I learned recently about this and how it confirms about what SE and I were talking about how the Bigfoot, which other YouTubers that talk about these things are saying the same thing that SE and I were saying for a long time, is that the Bigfoot and all these creatures that we're seeing, the aliens and stuff, are interdimensional demonic beings that are trying to deceive the people. So that is what I'm discussing here. And that, and some new stuff, and then that'll be it for tonight. And also, so that is Enoch and Jude. Yes, they go in and out of dimensions. And behold, he cometh with 10,000s of his saints to execute judgment upon all, and destroy the ungodly, and to convict the flesh of the works of the ungodly which they ungodly committed, and they all hard things which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. So the Bible references this book, but they didn't put it in the Bible. These are the different translations in different languages. Alright. Okay, turning guns. That's what I think you were talking about too. Yes. And Essie says, so Bigfoot may, I don't know if I believe in it all the way, but it could be a theory of it. Because it just seems like you would come across some hair tissue or something. Oh, I agree, Essie. And, so the video that I saw of one of the other Christians that were talking about what we're talking about, is basically if Bigfoot is real or people are really seeing Bigfoot sightings and they're not fake, it's something from the fallen realm, from the other dimension, that's coming over here and is going back and forth. This would explain why it doesn't fit in with our world and why it's kind of difficult to pinpoint what it is. So if it is real SE, we don't, may not completely know for sure, but it seems like there are sightings of some kind of creature like that. It has to do with those mythological creatures I was talking about, where those creatures that they talk about were real, but it's a mythology, and they have to do with the fallen realm, or where the fallen angels come from. So if it is real, my point, to make it clear, SE, is that it's from, you're right, it would be from another dimension if it's real. That would explain why there isn't, like, different things from it, but we don't know for sure if those things are really there or not. There could be pieces of it, like hair and stuff, where we just may have not have came across it. So, right, so it's some interdimensional thing. And also another one, there's recently been sightings of this creature. It's like a man with like a goat body, as like a goat human thing. And there's a video recently on the internet of this creature that people allegedly caught on camera, which I believe they caught on camera. And that is another being from the fallen realm. And the Bible would say how they would start coming in our realm more. So that's why these things are coming here more frequently. And because of the internet and with the technology we have to film stuff on our phones, that's how we're able to capture these things more easily than before. So that's another one that's been seen. Like a human with a goat head. Or some kind of horned person. And the aliens, the UFOs, those are other things from other dimensions as well, in my opinion. And these aliens are in conjunction with these other things we're seeing. So there are these people, and I was right. There's people that have been summoning UFOs. And they'll say things like, Jesus was not God, but was a peaceful person, or just a lovey-dovey person. So these fallen, that's what the aliens are telling these people. So these things from these other realms are trying to distort what the Christianity originally teaches. And this is other signs that these fallen things are trying to deceive humanity, and that's what the Bible said they would do. So basically, in ancient Celtic and Roman religion, Enoch is a god depicted with an antlers, seated, cross-legged, and is associated with stags, horns, serpents, dogs, or bulls. He is usually shown holding or wearing a torque, and sometimes holding a bag of coins or grain and canopia. He is believed to originally been a proto-Celtic god. There are more than 50 depictions of the inscriptions referring to him, mainly in the northeastern region of Gaul. So this thing in mythology is being seen along with the other things. And Turning Gun says something I didn't know of. He said, to call is actually to weed out the weak, but we use it instead of kill. That's good. And yes, and he was explaining about farming and things like that. And also, thank you to chat. I enjoy the conversation, and also, and words do matter. Yes, turning guns, exactly. They are heading to the freezer, he says, a turning gun says. And also, SE is saying, oh dang, so when I asked if they were okay, they aren't okay. And also, SE is saying, is it evil? Yes, SE. So to explain it also further, so let's just say the Bigfoot is real, and it's from another dimension, and this horned person is from another dimension too. We're not, so these are, they're not the aliens, but they're some type of being from the fallen realm. So the fallen realm in our Christian, and also to the ideology of the occultists that summon evil spirits and UFOs, is this, there's this other realm with these other spirit beings in it that in our Christian view are fallen from when the angels fell from heaven, so they have something to do with that. If they are, if it, but this is some type of fallen angel or something that has to do with that group of people, group of beings. Could be a descendant of it, like a hybrid of it. And thanks, Mary, for saying the interesting perspective, something to think about. I agree. So, and especially these things from these different old religions, they were these fallen beings that were trying to deceive people. Yes, the sons of man turning guns. Yes. That's what these things are. They're the sons of man that have dominion over the earth. That is what I'm talking about. And as I said, on the internet, they are summoning these beings, and they're communicating with the UFOs and the aliens, and they're revealing things to them that are false about Christianity. And like they showed on these news clips, that this thing, it was this it was a, I got sidetracked for a second. So it was a white thing in the sky with blue and purple and different colors, and that this is an example of one of the fallen sons of God trying to deceive the people to get them to worship them instead of the true God. And I've reviewed them on my channel, and I'm continuing to do that. So something I learned recently from another YouTuber that has been studying about this as we have is confirming what SE and I were talking about. SE said they had that devil statue in Iowa, the Capitol, and someone cut its head off. Exactly, and that's good they do that, because those statues shouldn't be there. And you see this horned person. Yeah, and basically you see this horned person, and that is an example of one of the things I'm speaking of. On the pillar of the boatman, we find an image depicted with stags' antlers both having torques. It's a stiff neck ring, either in the single piece or from standard strands twisted together. The great majority are open to the front. Some have hooked and ring closure. Few have mortrick and tenon locking. No turning guns. I haven't heard of that. You could say it in the chat what you saw or you heard about. Right, so they're the fallen sons of man that were given dominion over the earth, and that those are the things that we're speaking of here. We find an image depicted with stags' antlers and having torques, from which inscribed Serenios within it. The two lower part relief is lost, but the dimensions suggest that the god was sitting cross-legged in the depiction traditionally called the Buddhic posture. Yes, so it's in the Buddhic posture, these horned people. Iconography associated with the Seniors is often portrayed with a stag and ram horned serpent. Less frequently, there are bulls, dogs, rats, because of the image him on the Gudistrap Caldrion. Some scholars describe the Crenius as Lord of the Animals or Lord of the Wild Things, and Miranda Green describes him as peaceful god of nature and fruitfulness, who seems to be seated in a manner that suggests traditional shamans who are often depicted surrounded by animals. Other academics, such as Syrier, I don't know what that is, describes Semunus as a god of bidirectionally and a mediator between opposites, seeing the animal symbolism and the artwork reflecting this idea. So this creature is from the ancient world, and it was a god that sat in the way Buddha would sit, and it was known as like a peaceful god that liked to do things with nature. And also, so is this creature was something from the fallen realm that came over to our realm and pretended it was a god to get people to worship it. And now these things are coming back and trying it again in a different way. That's my point. And Mary says, alien, Bigfoot and Sasquatch sightings was talked about so much, especially in the 70s. Maybe because of technology advanced now. Yeah, because the native people in America, the Indians, they talked about the Bigfoot and Sasquatch. They had sightings of a Bigfoot creature, and also there's the Yeti. That's another Bigfoot sighting, and there's sightings in Asia. So all over the ancient world, there are sightings of a Bigfoot creature. Other examples of the Kreen Unus imagery include a petroglyph is an image created by removing parts of a rock surface by incising, picking, or carving a branding as a form of rock art outside North America. In the Gaul is an antlered human figure that has been dated as early as the 7th century BCE or as late as the 4th. Two goddesses with the antlers appeared at Besançon and Clermont, Ferrand, France. An antler god appears on a relief in Crean Center, Britain. Crean Kester. That's what I meant to say. Dated by the Roman times. So, this is all over the old world in Europe, and also in Asia, of this type of creature, and there's been video sightings of this creature again. And also appears that this also was found in Jutland, which is northern Germany, and it's a portion of Denmark. That's where the English originated from. And Mary says, this is off topic, but the Bermuda Triangle is another thing talked about in the 70s and 80s. Never heard about it, I know. It now. Well, yeah, that's something else I got to talk about here, about the Bermuda Triangle and stuff. That was interesting. And SE says, I know they have clubs that go and try to find them, and they have meetings to discuss Bigfoot sightings. And there have been attempts to find Korean roots in the name of Conall Cernach, the foster brother of the Irish hero, in the Ulster cycle. And the hero is something hard to pronounce, Chuch Luyen. That was the Irish hero. And also, it's from a Celtic origin. They think that this thing's from Celtic origin, this being appeared. And a brief passage in Conall, in an 8th century story entitled Tan Bu Frach, the cattle raid on Friach, has been taken as evidence of the Conall bore attributes of the master beasts. The passage of Conall Cernach is portrayed as a hero, a mighty warrior who assists the protagonist Friach in rescuing his wife and son, reclaiming his cattle. The fort of Conall must penetrate, is guarded and might be a mighty serpent, and suppose the anticlimax is a tale in which fearsome serpent insists of attacking Conall, darts of Conall's waist and griddles him as a belt rather than killing the serpent. Conall allows it to live and then proceeds to attack and rob the fort of its great treasures the serpent previously protected. The figure of the Conall Cernach is not associated with animals or forestry elsewhere, and the Epithet Cernach has historically been explained as a description of the Conall's imperturbable horn-like skin which protected him from injury. Okay, SE. SE says, I don't know. I'm not saying he doesn't believe in it. it thinks it could be something, but I want to see a body or something, or a hair sample, tissue, something. But he think it could be, and and it cuts off. And also, in the Bermuda Triangle is weird too. Like the sort of thing, it's interesting to me at least. And this is the thing. This is why we think it's interdimensional, because now I have seen expeditions of Bigfoot type artifacts being found, and also SE Latina one time sent me an article about this monkey god thing from South America, and it's a lot like the Bigfoot creature. So this is why I lean towards, if it is real, which I believe it is, it's probably something from another dimension, which would explain why we don't have them like way we would have monkeys or gorillas just chilling. SC says a good point. He says, yes, it's always like a fizzy picture or a weird video where you can't make it out, and that's why some of it, he remains skeptical, but some of it seems like they saw something. I'm very skeptical too, but I think that, you know, I don't want to be too skeptical. And, SC, especially how people haven't found like a sample of it or haven't found a thing to resemble this thing. I agree, and that's a very good point, because you want to have some piece of hair or something from it. And also, I think, I definitely feel the same way. At the same time, it goes along with the interdimensional theory. There's people in multiple parts of the ancient world that claim to see something like that. And Latino was talking about the thing, the monkey god thing. And if it's a god, it's some kind of fallen angel or some kind of fallen entity. So that's what it probably is, if it is real. So maybe we'll never know, but it would be nice to find something about it. Yes, that is true, turning guns. Boats that can get in trouble as well in those waters. Yes, you're right. You're right. And also, possible connection to Saint Kyrian. I'm saying probably this wrong. Some of the qualities of Crinius subsumed into the life of Saint Creon of Seghar, one of the 12 apostles of Ireland, when he was building his first tiny cell as his hagiography, I've not heard of that word before, goes, his first water. His first disciple and monk was a boar and been rendered gentle by God. This was followed by a fox, badger, a wolf, and a stage. You see, like they'll take things from the old religions and they'll put it into Christianity, because at the time it was so people could use these customs they're used to, but for Christianity, for a righteous godly cause, which is fine. Taking it away from the fallen angels and giving it back to glory to God. This hero is an Irish war hero demigod in the Ulster cycle of Irish mythology, as well as Scottish and Manx folklore. He is believed to be an incarnation of the Irish god Lugh, who is also his father. His mother is Mortal the Inshire. And also is a sister of the king Con Chubar Magnessa. He had a miraculous birth. And he is nobles of Ulster hunt a flock of magical birds. And he had a birth earlier versions, and his mother, Dechin, is a daughter of charioteer Con Chubar, and accompanies him. He and the nobles of Ulster hunts a flock of magical birds as snow begins to fall. Ulstermen seek shelter in a nearby house as the host's wife goes into the labor. The Entine assists the birth of the baby boy while Murray gives birth to the twin colts. So maybe Colt, he was just talking about that. What's his name? Way of the Road. No, he's not even here. Turning Guns was saying about the Colts. Is that where that was like what he was talking about earlier? So we have some synchronicity going on. Yeah, Merry Christmas, Latina. And hola, glad that you're able to join us. Latina, I was just talking about, we're talking about Bigfoot because I was talking about the Book of Enoch, some background about it, and some other YouTubers are talking about what I was talking about with all of you, and about the Bigfoot thing being something from another dimension. And I brought up about the Monkey God article that you sent me a couple of months ago on one of the other shows. And I'm just kind of, this story I'm reading has to do with this other thing. It's like it's a horned creature, and this had to do with something with some of their mythology. So this was a person that was a hybrid between a fallen entity and a human, like Merlin. Merlin was a fallen entity and a human, but he chose to live a godly Christian life. In the mythology, in the folklore. So, right. And so we have in the house, and the occupants disappeared, but the child and the cults remained. Yechine takes the boy home and begins raising him as her own, but the boy falls ill and dies. The god Lugh appears to her and tells her he was their host that night, and that he has put a child in her womb who is called Sienta. Her pregnancy turns into a scandal as she is betrothed to Sultan Mac Roish, and the Ulstermen suspect Conchabar of being the father, so she aborts the child and goes to her husband bed virgin hole. She is conceives a son who is named Sienta. In the later, better known version of Compert Colleen is a Conchabar's sister and disappears from Emain Macha, the Ulster capital, As in the previous version, the Ulstermen go hunting. A flock of magical birds are overtaken by a snowstorm and seek shelter in a nearby house. Their host is Lug, a member of the Tuathai Dinanan. But this time, his wife, who gives birth to a son that night, is Di Chine herself. A child is named Si Tanta. The nobles of Ulster argue over which of them is to be his foster father until the wise Mornan decides he should be fostered by several of them. Khan Chabar himself, who will tell him judgment in equivalent speech, the wealthy Bly Brigu, who will protect and provide for him, the noble warrior Fergus Mac Rosh, who will take care of him and teach him protect the weak, the poet Amergan, who will educate him, and his wife Fin Choim, who will nurse him. He is brought up to the house of Arm Egan and find Ochium. These words you're hearing are ancient Celtic words from like ancient Ireland, playing in modern County Louth, alongside their son Concal Kernach. In another version, the child is named Sedina, and the name is given to him by Siat Mac Mach. Kiat takes Seed Anna into fosterage, and gives him his own foster parents, the Guber to nurse, and they are parents and Chalchins. That's their name, the parents of that. And Chariter and their pair grow up together from infancy. So this Irish hero person that was infused with human and fallen entity DNA, my opinion, it has to do with this thing, this horned person. And there's been sightings and videos of this horned person that's been seen. And so there's, besides the fallen angels, there's also these fallen entities besides them, if they're the offspring of the fallen ones, or some kind of creation that they made, like the Nephilim type creatures. We don't know exactly what they are, but they have to do with this fallen realm. That and the sightings are more frequent than before. All right. Yes, Essie. You got that right. He's holding a snake, so it's something nefarious. You know, in satanic. That's why he's holding the snake. You know, this kind of creature. You see, it's holding a snake, and it looks like, so this is an example of a fallen entity. If it's a fallen angel or some type of creation or something that has to do with them. So there you go, chat. That is an example of that, and there's been sightings of things like this, and this is like a thing like Bigfoot has been more frequent because of the times we're in, and we're getting closer, and there's a lot of messed up stuff going on, and we have technology, so we're able to take videos of these things, and these are examples of the things that are being seen. So like with the book of Enoch and these other, even religions that are against Christianity, that people that summon UFOs and communicate with UFOs and aliens, all can confirm about these beings are real and they're from some other realm. And I think the Bermuda Triangle, I saw when I was a kid about the Bermuda Triangle. And basically, with the Bermuda Triangle, it's, a lot of planes and ships and things. Everybody had problems in that region. And there's something supernatural about it. And in Japan, there's something called the Dragon's Triangle. That is, in theory, is another dimension that leads from that area to the other area. So there is some supernatural things about that we could look into as well. And you see, it's sitting like a Buddha statue, and it's holding the snake, and it has horns, just like what Christianity talks about. That's another one. It looks similar to like some kind of demonic thing. So like so I'm going to answer the question. Turning Guns has a very good question. A very good question. He says, these things might not show themselves to Christians, maybe the armor of God, maybe the spiritual power of Christians possess. Yes, so the good news about all these aliens and these UFOs and these things is that none of these things can harm any of us, Christians. And with the power of God, they tremble at the name of Jesus. Like this scary dude right here, or the Bigfoot, if it's real, or the Greys, or the lizard aliens, or whatever. They tremble at the sound of the word Jesus, and so the Christians have the power to rebuke them, and they will not harm the Christians. It's those that have a problem, because Christ defeated them a long time ago. They're already defeated. Right. Yeah, so this is like an example of, and I'm going to say it again, because you all could visualize it and see what I'm talking about, like earlier when I was introducing the topic, is that this is from either a fallen angel, or something has to do with that. The sons of God that are fallen, and that's what this thing is. And as I said, to the people that are atheistic, they'll think like, oh, simply like you have a situation here where people made up gods for comfort, and that's why people have this. But that's actually not true, because people are summoning UFOs, and there's like news articles and things on the news, like real videos of these things, where a person that's a prophet of an alien spaceship, no pun intended, they'll summon an alien, and the news people see it, a little thing floating in the sky, for instance, or a person changing colors in the sky. Like, they really have caught this stuff on camera, and these things are to deceive and bring people away from that. And they deny what the Bible says about Jesus, the aliens, when people communicate with them. So people are summoning these things. It's a real thing over in this other realm. And not everybody wants to believe that. It's very far out. It sounds like I'm writing a science fiction novel, like I'm the next Stephen King, or I'm making a new movie like James Cameron, which I'm good at those things. I'm very creative, yes. But this, I'm being serious here. That, in my opinion, this is what's going on. Exactly, turning guns. There you go. If they had real power, perhaps they would not need to look so intimidating. Exactly. They don't have any power. They have more power than, I guess, a mortal, I guess. But basically, they look scary and menacing to try to scare people because they really don't have any power. Like when Christ came, when he was on the cross and all, he was this, you wouldn't think he would be a god in human flesh. And others, like, would worship these things instead, because they would think this is a god, but this thing doesn't have any power. It's just all smoke and mirrors. So that's a good point, turning guns. Exactly. There's something called a sitar. Let's see if I got that. No, that's some kind of instrument, I think, from India. Yeah, that's an instrument. I'm thinking of something else. That's some instrument from India. But I'm thinking of something else. It's some kind of thing like this. Yeah, the god. And also Horned Man. No, that's not what I meant. I didn't mean that. I'm talking about mythology. A goat man. Alright, here we go. This thing. And we have this. It's something I just discovered. This is what I was talking about. Alright, right into the meat and potatoes. Amen, turning guns. And Latina has a good point right there. Alright, so the goat man is a cryptid who is said to be half man, half goat. Although his origins are unknown, the most popular origin story is that it once been a scientist who worked on a Bestville Architecture Research Center who experimented on goats. Unfortunately, during one of these experiments, he was mutated into a goat-human hybrid, went insane. He began to attack cars with an axe near the roads of Bestville, MD. So this is an example of something that could have been made in a laboratory or something, because there's a theory now that there's going to be, like in China, they're creating dragons, like real dragons, like in a laboratory, and that they talk about how the fallen creatures are going to come back around the end times, and this is an example of another fallen creature, like from biblical perspective, from the fallen realms. Yeah, goat sounds delicious. I agree, Latina. And also, there is a thing called Saturday Night Live called Goat Boy. Thanks. Yes, Latina, that sounds delicious. East Indian cuisines. Facts. So the full name is unknown. Alice's the Goat Man, the Maryland Goatman, the Waterford, Sheepman, the Pope Lick Monster. Origin: Urban Legends of Maryland. Occupants: scientist at Betlesville Architecture Research Center. Farmer assumed formerly. Businessman assumed formerly. Power skills: wields a giant axe. Bloodlust: insanity, can remain elusive and hidden under too late. Hobby: stalking people in the forests, killing and eating animals. Goals: kill anyone who enters his woods. Keep the Maryland forests for himself. Kill goats. Crimes: stalking, animal cruelty, mass murder, fear-mongering, unethical experimentation, mutilation. Also, something I didn't say before, viewer discretion advised. Sightings. They're earlier known from... Oh, also, goat's milk. That my grandpa had like a goat farm when he was little, and they drink goat's milk, and I also like to drink goat's milk. It's nice. The earlier known form of such a creature was... Yeah, okay. A sitar. That's what I meant. Okay. We got it, chat. We're gonna... Okay. This is what I meant. Wild spirits in Greek mythology, these spirits were half man, half beast. The sitar. I'm probably saying that wrong. Satyrs. I said, I don't... Probably not pronouncing that right. They were generally held in the spend their days drinking, playing instruments, and chasing after ladies. The chief satyrs was a nature god Pan. Yeah, the god Pan, the god shepherds of hunters. Yeah, so this is the creature, and you're gonna have some graphic imagery, and so yeah, that is what it is. It's an excited thing. So that's another fallen entity, and that's what this is like, is in relation to. So the earlier known of such a creature was the sitars. Well, I think I'm gonna see the pronunciation of this word. Satyrs. Okay, so it's called the satyrs. So the earlier known from such a creature was a satyr, and the fauns of ancient Greece and mythological creature. However, people are almost certain that such beings were just the product of overreactive imagination. The modern day goat seems to have physical evidence. The goat man. Let's see, I'll show you what a faun is. That's from mythology too. Yeah, so a fawn, it's like a person with a goat body, with goat legs. The Waterford sheepman was a mysterious beast seen in the 1970s, and it was a gigantic creature about 7 feet tall. With horns, it lurked farm fields, stalking unwary animals and occasionally humans. The sheepman resembled a goat humanoid sheep, yet it was said to be linked to the Goatman. It terrorized Waterford town in Pennsylvania, and thus was possibly an early incarnation of the Goatman. The Goatman. One witness said she saw sheepmen running across the open field late at night when she got back home. The Pope Lick monster was seen during the 2012 and was seen numerous people in the town of its inhabitants under the abandoned bridge and in the abandoned trestle. The Pope Lick monster has very similar origins to the Goatman, and was even said to be a goat farmer who sold his soul to Satan in exchange for immortality or dark magic. This adds to the Goatman's supposed supernatural abilities such as voice mimicry. So, if this sighting was real, which there seems to be some sightings of something like this being seen now, it's some type of, as they said, if this is real, something made in a laboratory, but there's also interdimensional beings apparently that are like this too. Various people in 2015 said they have seen photographic evidence of the Goatman, which has sparked a new hunt for the creature. This is the most recent sighting of such a creature to date. Yeah, so that's the thing. So that's another cryptid that I wasn't aware of. All right. All right, so it's an urban legend. Right. And so that is, it's one of the things besides Bigfoot that was recently like seen with the camera, was seen with social media. Drink some water. All right. So now we're gonna get into the alien thing. Alright, so here's the alien. Turning Guns said, "This subject matter got me lost, lol. Very entertaining. It's fun to learn new stuff." Turning Guns, glad that you're entertained by this and that you learned some new things. And also, so these are the interdimensional beings that I love to talk about a lot. So this is like some type of fallen angel or something that has to do with them. And they appear as aliens from another planet to try to deceive people into some new age thing, deviating away from Christianity. And they come from these other dimensions into this dimension. And this, in conjunction with the alleged Bigfoot and Goat Man sightings, are the UFO demonic beings from the other realm that try to deceive the humankind according to the Bible and the Book of Enoch and different things like that. What I mean by different things like that, I'm also talking about the other things too, the false religions. So I told you, there's people that summon UFOs, that communicate with them. All right, so these false prophets. So here's like a depiction of them coming from their other dimension into our dimension, like a tunnel. And this is, another depiction of the gray alien. All right. Yes, they do have big brains. Yes. Here's a full body of it. All right, UFO. These are some depictions of the UFOs. So this is like these things that are coming from the other realms and coming over to this realm. They come from this place to that place. And it's like being here or whatever, discussing, if we talk about the aliens or the news or whatever we talk about, it's better than, like, some people, like, right now will, like, waste their lives away. Like, nothing wrong with having fun with friends, but some people will constantly not learn anything. They'll go and, say, drink all the time and just spend all their money and just watch sports or something unproductive. And what we're discussing here is very productive, and we're learning and bouncing off each other's ideas and learning from each other. So I'd rather be a nerd than be a useless piece of flesh sitting there and existing. In my not so humble opinion. And like sometimes, for instance, my uncle didn't understand why I like to not go out and do certain things like that, and I like to do these kind of things instead. And it's like I don't want to go and waste my life and do silly things, and I have a lot of stuff, as you all can obviously tell through the internet. And basically, I like doing this. I like researching these kind of things since I was in school, and it's nice to meet my like-minded people. And so, SE, I'm glad that you like to learn things with me, and we're exercising our brains. And SC says one of my friends in college swears he saw one the way he talks about it, and I completely believes him. Used to give him chills, SC chills, when he would talk about it. Yeah, I agree, SC. And SC also says, and Turning Gun says he probably did see something. And SC says, I wish I could live 2 lifetimes to learn more, because the more and more older he gets, the more he likes learning. Amen. And Turning Gun says, I don't disbelieve a lot of people's sightings. That's good, because, people, they'll see things, and, like, that's why with the Bigfoot thing, it's like, or any of these things, it's like, somebody, what if it's real? And I'll tell you this, a story. Drink some water. And I'm going to put that a little bit over so people can see it. And so, anyway, like, my friend at school that talked about aliens, he, like, I believed him, and I wanted to learn more about it because I saw too many movies, like, say, Jimmy Neutron, the TV show, or SpongeBob, and a lot of other things. They didn't believe the person, and the person was right, and everything went downhill. But if they just would have believed the person, they would have been in a better situation. So that's why, especially if someone saw a traumatic sighting, like when I ran the ads for the campaign a year ago this month, for the aliens are UFO, the fallen angels are aliens. I got so many testimonies from people that agreed with what I'm saying and what you all are saying, and that people that actually saw strange creatures or alien type creatures and had confirmation from what I was showing. So, and as I said, like, some people were saying they could be, they were tested to say they're schizophrenic or something, but some people said they weren't. Some people wondered they're crazy or something like that, and people could be, having problems upstairs. But also at the same time, I do think it's possible they're really seeing these things. And I'll also add that maybe certain disorders might allow certain people to see some other realm that we can't see, in my opinion. And also, I will say that perhaps we have people really seeing things that are not actually crazy. Because those people that are crazy enough to change the world are the ones that do. Like, there's somebody right now that is not on the internet, that is being unproductive somewhere. A group of people being unproductive that no one knows who they are, they don't exist. But we are known because we actually did something and got together and did this. So there will be haters, but haters will hate. And it's just that they're just like wallpaper, something to be ignored. And also, so that is like my story of my thought pattern about these alien things. And I'm glad that I became friends with my friend, and I benefited a lot, as you could obviously see. Although I was always go of YouTube and being a personality on social media and an influencer, this was a big part of my life. The alien thing, that's my nickname. So that's why, like, I benefited when the other people at school didn't, but I did because I was friends with him. Right. And then you all benefit from it indirectly too. And SE says, yeah, he said he saw one, and just the way he described it, and took on his face, if he was lying, he would be the world's best actor. Turning Guns says back, the thing about getting older is that I don't like forgetting stuff that I used to know very well. Yeah, that sounds frustrating, Turning Guns. And that's why, like me as a young person, I live every day as if it was the last day of my life. Like, what would I do if I was the last day of my life? And I cherish every moment as I go through the days. And the time I have with people through the different chats that I talk to on YouTube, or family, or seeing nature, I enjoy every moment. Because, time flies by and this moment won't last forever. And it just flies, it goes by and by. And also, SE says, yeah, that's the problem, though, I get it. Turning Gun says, when animals see things that they can't, that's very intriguing. Yes, good point, Turning Guns. Good point. Because, basically, the cats, we have a lot of cats, and they see different things, and they think of different things, and they see things we can't see, and cats and dogs can see something we can't from some other realm. And Turning Gun says, or when people are close to death, that's very fascinating as well because they see different things. Like, there's people that have had near-death experiences and saw heaven or hell. And there's people that have seen different things from a near-death state. And there's people that, like I was talking about on 9/11, people saw these Mothman-type creatures in different phenomena, supernatural things during that event. So, yes, Turning Guns, that was very good points you and Essie are making. And Essie says, it is probably saw over 100 people die. The things that they said it's weird to him. Essie says, a lot of them see their family or something and start calling out to them. That happens a lot. Exactly. And basically what happened is, and also, Peach, she's also a nurse, Essie, and she talks about what you're saying, how people that have these, when they're about to die, like you're saying, that they say they're calling out to relatives or something like that. And it happens a lot, and people, they'll see things before they die. And also there's situations, like she was saying, people were very hot, or they saw something bad before they died, or somebody saw something good. So, in other people that had near-death experiences, one person went to hell and saw these, dictators and stuff, and people that were evil throughout history, and these different creatures and stuff. And but he came back and Christ saved him. There's a lot of instances of that, and people there's a kid that went to heaven. And how he saw a sister of his that was not born, which was interesting. So, yes, that is kind of further. I'm elaborating further on what SC was saying. But yes, SC had a good point, and what I was saying was a good point too about the afterlife and the supernatural. And SC saying family that has died, like a brother or mother, etc. Yeah, thank you for filling us in on that, SC. And that's exactly my point. One moment here. Let's see something. All right. And also, so yeah, that is basically my point about the the near death experiences are very very fascinating, right? And also, as he says, wow, I believe it makes you better even more. And one more moment, I have a message coming through. Moment. Turning Gun says, I was listening to the guy the other night who comes over. Well, this is what I want to read from him. Turning Gun says, there is a hospice nurse that has a channel on here that talks about that in length, Essie. And Turning Gun says, I was listening to the guy in the other night that was in a coma over weekend and that talked about the hierarchy of Satan and said he went on a tour. Really interesting. Turning Guns. That's a good point, and that's exactly also what I mean too. And because a lot of people will see these things before they die, and these atheistic people and stuff that say that there's nothing there and all, they're dead wrong. And also, Turning Gun says, I don't know if I could believe more as per se, but we like learning, right? Yes, Turning Guns. I agree. Yeah, so these people, these creatures, and these things, they come from these fallen realms. You see these things right here, these new territory, America's top aerospace. Yeah, UFO hunt, and I think the stars in the sky and space is so fascinating to me. That's something else that I like. And I like how these things they dash across the sky, and I like the the meteor the meteor stuff that happens and things like that. And that is what's going on with this situation with the UFOs. All right. So, and Turning Gun says, to believe is one thing, but faith is something all to its own. Even Satan believes, right? And Turning Gun says, but to have a measure of faith. As he says, while Turning Gun's Satan took him on a tour, I would be like, I don't think I would want to purchase this real estate. LOL. And Turning Guns is, mustard seed. So Jesus was saying that it's to have faith like a mustard seed. There is something I'm doing, so I'm going to be a moment. All right, I'm doing something over here. So yeah, so basically, and I'll get back to chat in a moment, that it's good that we see what's going on with these things and discussing the situation that we have. Okay. Try this thing one more time, and then I'm going to have to do something else. Alright. Yeah. So I'm changing a password on something. That's why I pause for a moment, but I'll be right back with you all in a moment. Alright, we'll look at chat. Alright. So yeah, so there's a difference, you're right. And Turning Gun says, I don't think it was Satan that gave the tour, it was an angel that was with him. SE says, wow. And SE says, like the Ebenezer Scrooge, I always like that story. I watch it every year around this time. Yeah, I like Ebenezer Scrooge too, SE. That's a good story. That's a good movie. And as he says, could you, yeah, so Turning Gun says, I remember a story about a guy that said he was in heaven once, and he said that the flowers were singing to him. I remember that. Yes, I remember that. I saw a story about that. And it's checking something here. Yeah. All right. That worked. Four, two. Okay. I got that. And so I'm signing back into something that I got logged out of on something else that I do with this, so that's why I'm kind of stalling. So, yeah, so I saw the Scrooge movie back when I was a kid. I also liked the I like that. I always liked the story behind it. I think it was nice and spooky. All right, I'm back in. All right. Okay, we got that ready. All right. Okay, so it was about the call-in thing. I had to go log back into that account because I do some stuff on there, and that's why I took a moment. So anyway, the Ebenezer Scrooge is a great movie. Highly recommend it, and has a good moral story behind it. And Turning Gun says, I don't think we can fully understand heaven yet. And Turning Gun says, not here anyhow. And SC says, could you imagine that? I don't think we could either. And SC says, it's probably the most beautiful thing ever. And also SC says, I watched them all, the old one, like Mickey Mouse one, and yes, that's what I was talking about. And did a modern one. I like them all. And SC says, old one typo. Sorry. And Turning Gun says, I seen the Adam Sandler movie. The Remote. That's a good movie, and he's a very good actor. He's very funny. SC says, "Oh, I have seen that one. I have not watched that. Turning Guns. Was it good?" All right. Yeah, being an Adam Sandler movie, I'm sure it was very good. All right. So, and that's what the aliens. So to summarize everything. So the UFOs, and the aliens and the other creatures like Bigfoot and stuff are from those other realms that come over here, and because the end times are getting closer to this phenomena happening. So that's what I was, and also will say Congress orders UFO records be released. Let's see. Congress orders UFO records released, but drops bid for border disclosure. So this is now I'm going to go into. So to summarize it, I talk about the Book of Enoch and those fallen beings from the other realms. All right. Now I'm going to get into some alien stuff with the news and the other things. Let's see. And I'm getting some other additional news and things like that. All right. Congress passed legislation on Thursday that directs the government to eventually tell the public at least some of what it knows about the UFOs, but stops short more aggressive steps. Lawmakers sought to force greater transparency around the identified phenomena extraterrestrial activity. The measure, which was tucked into the annual defense policy bill that won final approval with a bipartisan vote, directs the National Archives to collect government documents about unidentified anomalous phenomena, technologies of unknown origin, non-human intelligence, under the provision which President Biden is expected to sign into law. Any records not already officially disclosed must be made public within 25 years of the creation, unless the president determines that they must remain classified for national security reasons. They really don't want us knowing what they know, and don't want to admit that they're wrong. Lawmakers in both chambers have reacted ratcheted up efforts to increase government transparency surrounding UFOs and extraterrestrial matters as conspiracy theories proliferate. The suspicions present that the government is concealing information from the public. They have said that Congress has reason to believe that the executive branch has concealed information about UFOs that should be made public. This is a major win for the government transparency on UAPs, and it gives us a strong foundation for more action in the future, said Senator Chuck Schumer, the majority leader, using the acronym Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena, the government term for UFOs and unidentified objects. But the measure is far weaker than what Mr. Schumer and other lawmakers in both parties had sought. Mr. Schumer succeeded over the summer. In acting a bipartisan measure of defense bill that would have established a presidential commission with the border power to declassify government records on UFOs modeled after the panel reviewed and released documents related to President John F. Kennedy's assassination. Yeah, Attorney Gunn says A Christmas Carol, 1970. And also the original 1938. I agree. Now, this is kind of off topic from that, but another good Christmas movie is It's a Wonderful Life. That's a good Christmas movie. And also, yeah, Turning Guns, those are great movies. Christmas Carol, 1970, and the original 1938. Facts. The Republican-led House added proposal by Representative Tim Burchett, Republican of Tennessee, that would have skipped any review and simply ordered the Defense Department to declassify records relating to publicly known sightings of unidentified aerial phenomena that do not reveal sources, methods, or otherwise compromise the national security of the United States. Unable to reconcile the two competing approaches, negotiators who hammered out a bipartisan compromise between the House and Senate on the defense policy bill ended up dropping both Mr. Schumer's measure and Mr. Burchett's. We got ripped off. Mr. Burchett said, "We got completely hosed. They stripped out every part." Mr. Burchett said the intelligence community railed to kill his proposal and tamped down more aggressive ones to compel border disclosure. Another person familiar with the talks who insisted on anonymity to describe them noted that the Defense Department also had pushed back forcibly on wider measures. Yeah, or CERN. Yeah. The measure that ultimately was included in the defense bill grants government agencies wide latitude to keep records classified. It permits government agencies to determine whether public release of certain records would pose a national security threat that overweighs the public interest of disclosure. Records whose release would demonstrably, sustainably impair a national security of the United States or constitute unwarranted invasion of personal privacy. For instance, would be examined from disclosure. Classified records must be periodically reviewed for declassification. It is really an outrage the House didn't work with us on adopting our proposal for reviewing board. Mr. Schumer said it means that the classification of UAP records will be largely up to the same entities that have blocked and obfuscated their disclosure for decades. They just want to hide this stuff, as I said. Senator Mike Rounds, Republican of South Dakota and co-sponsor of Mr. Schumer's proposal, echoed his disappointment on the Senate floor Wednesday just before the defense bill passed. "We are lacking oversight of opportunities and not fulfilling our responsibilities," Mr. Rounds said. The Pentagon has begun stepping up the number of explanations it provided for recent videos showing unidentified phenomena, suggesting that pressure from Congress for greater transparency has had some early results. Those videos, unidentified phenomena captured by military sensors released in recent years, and reports by naval aviators of strange objects have fueled speculation about UFOs and extraterrestrial activity. Some of those videos have been explained as optical illusions or drones, but others remain unexplained and have become the subjects of wide conspiratorial interest. Oh, I agree, SC. There's strange stuff in the skies. And then I'll get into the regular news. After I read this article, I'm going to get into regular news that we talk about on here. Then I'm going to tell you all something interesting. If I haven't already told you anything, I told you stuff interesting. An environmental analyst of public UAP sightings and Skyview potential. Oh yeah, It's a Wonderful Life is It's a Wonderful Life is a wonderful movie. I really like it. To Latina, it's very inspirational. Yeah. And I like the times and the way people acted. That is a good one. I remember before I get into this article, which I'm still going to read this article, I went and it was like the fall, like down here, like the leaves are changing yellow and purple and red right now because the fall season seems to come around this time down south. And I remember it was like 2 years ago, I saw that movie again, and I was painting a bar for a window blue, and I was like outside with the fall trees. It was really nice, and that was good memories. And on that Christmas tree right there, we have a "It's a Wonderful Life" ornament, the bell. Oh yeah, SC, I highly recommend it. It's really spectacular, and it's enchanting, and it's inspirational. And I remember it's like it shows you how to keep on, going, and things to turn around. and it's just a really great classic. So you have, and now this article, this was from a couple of days ago or a couple hours ago, an environmental analyst of public UAP sightings and Skyview potential. Abstract. Sightings of unidentified flying objects, UFOs, or unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAP, have been reported throughout history given the potential security and safety risks they pose as well as scientific curiosity. There is increasing interest in understanding that what these sighting reports sightings of unidentified flying objects or unidentified flying anomalous phenomena, UAP, have been reported throughout history given the potential security and safety risk they pose, as well as scientific curiosity. There is an increasing interest in understanding what these sighting reports represent. We approach this problem as an important one of the human experience, and that can be examined through a geographical lens. What local factors may increase or decrease the number of sightings reports using a Bayesian regression method? We test hypothesis based on variables representing sky view potential, light pollution, tree canopy, and cloud cover, and the potential for objects to be present in the sky, aircraft, and military installations. The dependent variable includes over 98,000 publicly reported UAP sightings in the Contorn Unas. Good night, Latina. The potential objects be presented in the sky. The dependent variable includes 98,000 publicly reported UAP sightings in the Contour Minos, United States during the 20-year period from 2001 to 2020. The model results find credible correlations between variables that suggest people see more phenomena when they have opportunity to. This analyst is one of the few investigations of UAP sightings reports at a national scale, providing context to help examine the individual reports. Given these objects are labeled unidentified in the personal sense, there are many natural and or human-based explanations worth exploring. Wow. This is a figure of the reported sightings. And so we have this map of the UFO sightings that we're seeing. Hello, DJ. Good to see you. Turning Gun says, I had a couple of friends see a dimension open up in the sky one night. They said it appeared and zipped off really fast, about the size of a small car, mid-90s. Yeah, so this would be for like maybe tomorrow or something, or another show. that's a little bit long, but that's basically the thing about the alien sightings. All right. Okay, let's do this. Okay. How are you, DJ? That's good. Glad you're in chat. I'll be one moment, chat. Chat, I'm with you all in a moment. I'm dealing with something, and I'm gonna get right back to y'all. So y'all could talk and chat, and I'll be right with everybody. Okay. I'm still on the screen, as you can see. back for a moment, chat. So, Turning Gun says, I watched a couple of USAF tankers paint a checkerboard in the sky one day. I wonder if that counts. That's funny. Alright, and I want to say that, like SE, Peach says hello, and tomorrow she will call into the show. And this night is a little bit shorter than the other ones that I do. And I'm actually about to end it, and I covered the things I want to cover this time, and then tomorrow we'll have the longer stream. So I'm going to be wrapping it up, chat. Alright. Waiting for the acknowledgement from them. And, you know, this was a very fun night. I enjoyed it. And I liked the conversations we had. It was very good. And thanks for everybody that came here and that's watching and that commented. Alright. I'll check something really quick. Alright. Alright. They aren't saying anything. Thanks, Essie. Thanks. And as I said, tomorrow Peach will be the guest on the show as a caller. Like how Stranded was a guest on the show. We'll have that. Yeah, thanks, Turning Guns. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking to all of you, and DJ, thank you, and Latina, everybody that's watching, seeing the rerun. I appreciate all of you. And now I'm about to switch over to the other screen and then the final one. Alright, so tonight we had an interesting night. We talked about very cool things. We're glad that we all got to see each other. We all had an amazing time. And tomorrow we're going to have a blast and talk about even more cool things. And I appreciate all of you. Have a good sleep, everybody. Tomorrow's going to be... I'm very excited for tomorrow. And that is it. And peace. That's not what I meant to do.